Hey, welcome to the call, everybody. This evening, I am not the Todd Father. However, I am on the Todd Father team and only one among many respected leaders. And Todd asked me to host the call tonight, so it was my honor to do so, and not considered a task. I want to welcome you all here, and we don't take your time lightly. You are in the right place at the right time, in my opinion. The gentleman that is going to be speaking this evening is uh, uh, quite a hoot, and he has a wealth of knowledge. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen real quick, and we'll get this housekeeping out of the way. Purchasing precious metals does involve risk. We ask that you properly educate yourself and do due diligence prior to purchasing any precious metals. We will be talking about income tonight, and we will be talking about other things that involve that. And so the information that we provide here tonight is not to be considered tax or financial advice. Understand that the future value of precious metals is based on a lot of different things. The past performance is no guarantee of future performance or future value. I will tell you this: 1 ounce of silver will always be worth 1 ounce of silver. It's considered God's money. It was here way before us, and it will be here way after we are gone. So I want to talk to you a little bit about our guest speaker tonight. Bob Reid is 77 years young, married to his partner and lifelong friend, Pamela Reid, of 56 years. He has a chemical engineering degree and a master's in business administration from Louisiana State University. After completing his military obligation as a U.S. Army officer, he worked as a top-level corporate executive developing markets around the world for 18 years. He left that industry to do direct marketing and as an entrepreneur full-time in 1994 after being introduced to it in 91. He is a multimillionaire per year earner in direct marketing and considered by many to be the master in the direct marketing industry. Bob has been involved in the gold and silver and previous metals market for more than 38 years. 2016, he joined 7K Metals. And in November 2016, and Bob became the first $1 million commission earner in 7K. I want to welcome my friend, my business partner, and my mentor, Bob Reid. Is he still?
I think he got knocked off.
Oh no.
Well, I'm not doing that.
That was that long intro.
Yeah, that was a long intro.
There he is. There he is.
There
He's
he
back.
You're back.
We ready for me to roll?
We are. I introduced you as
Great. Here we go. Let's go.
I introduced you as the master.
Before my computer kicks out on us again. Hey, welcome everybody. We're continuing on my 7-part series, Basics of Network Marketing. Now, it's more than just basics here. And this is the thing that I really want everyone to understand. All you need to know is this 7-part series. Literally. And those of you that would concentrate on doing these over and over and over again until you excel, until you're a master of these skills, attitudes, and techniques. And a lot of it's techniques that I'm giving you here in this 7-part series. We're on a 3rd part of the series. Now, that first part is essential. And so without redoing a summary of it, I'm going to tell you what is required there. It takes a 2-year commitment. I don't care if you're a seasoned network marketer. You already have skills, attitudes, and techniques. Or you're a seasoned sales closing person. You're still going to need to learn these basics that I'm teaching. Now, they're for you, they're for your future team leaders and their future team leaders and their future team leaders, because they never change. And if they aren't simple, they're not duplicatable. And so I've used them in all 3 of the network marketing companies I've been associated with and taught the same thing. And fortunately, I've been with 2 have been gold and silver and been binaries. The first one was really difficult. It was a breakaway multi-level plan with personal care products and health products. That's a consumable. But yet the skills, attitudes, and techniques, the SATs, the basics that I'm teaching apply to any network marketing business. It's just, are you with the right company at the right time at the right place? That's a real key to big time success. Now, big time success can come easily with 7K metals because you're accumulating wealth, you're preserving your wealth while you're earning an income in the process, and you can develop a legacy income in that process. So what better program can you get than to preserve your wealth and accumulate wealth at the same time you're building a network marketing business? That's powerful. And so would you get with a company like 7K Metal that will be a global giant? There's no doubt in my mind. It will be a global giant. So do you want to be part of that? Do you want to take your little piece of it? And what I mean by this is, even if you just get to an extra $500 a month, because that's all you can do. That's all you can master in these basic skills. I believe you can do more, but you may be limiting yourself, because I think everyone can if they will apply themselves. So number 1 is you must make a 2-year commitment. Now that's learning and earning at the same time. You will learn these 7-part basics that I'm giving you. Become an expert at them. And I'm going to be very truthful with you. Most people don't. I don't know why. I don't think they can discipline themselves. I think sometimes they think that's too simple. They are the ones that out themselves. It is as simple as I teach, if you will only do it. And I say, give yourself 2 years. Just try it for 2 years. And what do I ask out of you in those 2 years? 10 hours of commitment of work the way I tell you to work. That job description. Okay, that's basics 1. What was basics 2? Learn how to tell your story. Okay? And learn how to tell your story, a very short story, not a long story, not a story that's going to take forever. Okay? And I know Derek gave a very good introduction for me, and I do truly appreciate that, Derek, and hope I can live up to every word of that for everyone. But I was introduced to 7K when I was 70 years young, 7.5 years ago. I immediately saw the opportunity to relive the best part of the shortest part of my 3 very successful careers. And that was network marketing, direct sales, but with gold and silver. I immediately saw when Richard Wayne Hansen introduced it to me that to me, it was simple and I joined. 5 on the left, 5 on the right, make an above average $500 check. You can develop a residual income with a numismatic collectible product. To me, that was a no-brainer. I was about ready to retire, to hang it up. But I didn't look at this as work. I immediately called two of my best friends, older than me, Woodrow Venable and George Donaldson, had a meeting the next night on Friday at George Donaldson's house. I had 15 people there. I told them what I was going to do and why. They all joined. On the way home, I made 5 phone calls to out-of-state friends, and they all joined that night. Now, I had my right team and I had my left team. And see, I kept them together. And then we just went to work telling people, let's accumulate some wealth in God's money, gold and silver. Let's earn some extra income, have fun, help one another. And after a few years, I ended up being the top money earner in 7K. I was the first $1 million earner in 7K. And here we are 7 years ago. And how did we do that? By helping our teams build their teams, helping them build their team, just like we're doing here tonight. That's my story, and I'm sticking by it. Okay. And so you need to have your story because it needs to be a short one and it can be the long one. But I want you to have that very short one. So I condensed a big story of mine down in a very few words. But it's the truth. Now, tonight, we're going to move to that third part of the basics, and that's building your list. This is the part, and I'm going to be very honest with you. Part of that job description, I tell you, you need to make that first list of 100 people. And most people do not do this. I'm very honest. And this is the biggest mistake of people who want to succeed in network marketing. George Donaldson and I, Woodrow, we all worked off of a list. We all built our list. We still work our list. I'm redoing a whole brand new list right now because I'm going to do it with everyone because I'm going to rank up. So how do I rank up? The same way I taught y'all how to do it. Okay. So I'm going to be doing this with you in our new acceleration program to really break 7K out into a global expansion of where they're going with what they're bringing to the table this year, which is phenomenal. And we all need to be prepared for that because we're about to go on a 10-year momentum growth curve like the world has never seen in gold and silver. So how do you build your list? Okay. First of all, everyone has a list built in right here in this thing. If you go to your contacts, open it up, scroll all the way down to the bottom, it'll tell you how many people you have in your phone. That's your beginning list. Okay. Now, I want you to translate that though, and everybody needs to have the same materials. So the way I teach it is you're going to get a brand new spiral notebook, all blank pages in it, and you're going to make your top list of your hot 25, hot 50 people. These are the people you care about the most and the people you'd love to have in your business. That's your top 25, 50. You write one name on the top of each page. First and last name. If you already have their phone number, write their cell phone number down. If you already have their address on that neckline, you put their address down. Okay? And that's your first 25-50. That's that hot 25-50. We all have to have that because you and your sponsor, you and your first upline leader, whoever you're teaming up with and working with, y'all going to work that list together. Okay? Now, you're going to expand that to everyone you have in this phone. So just go down there and write them down. Put them in there. Same way. And the reason I want you one name per page is because, see, this is your pipeline, and you're going to be keeping a record, but we're going to go at it methodically in a systematic approach. And that's what's so important. See, most people just hodgepodge with this. Well, network marketing is based on systems, and systems are duplicatable. And duplication is the key to success in network marketing. So, see, if you don't do it, how can you expect your people to do it? Okay, list building is one of the most important functions next to that commitment. See, that's why commitment's first. That 10 hours, 2 years, buying your coin, no questions, no doubts, no fears, no letting stinking thinking bother your mind for 2 years, because you're going to learn in those 2 years. All those stinking thinking thoughts, you're going to get questions answered, not in public, but in private by your leadership or by the company. So that's critical. Now let's get back to list building. Once you get this first, everybody can do a list of 100. Everyone. Now, most people can easily make a list of 500 people. You say, I don't know 500 people. Oh, yeah, you do. You just don't know how to bring them up, how to make them. Now, you're going to work on your list for 2 years, and you're going to build that to 500. And the sooner you get that built to 500, the faster and you're going to accelerate in your income building and foundational building of your teams. So I'd like for you to build that list of 500 in the first couple of months. I'd like for you to get that list done in 3 months. I'd like for you to get it done in 6 months. I really want you to get it done before that first year. But if it takes you 2 years, that's okay. It's going to take you longer to succeed. So just recognize that you are the limiting factor to your success, not anything else. If you don't have that list of 500 people done, you are limiting your success. No one else. Okay? Now, so I'm going to teach you how to build that list, just like every other major successful person in network marketing. We all teach the same basics, and we all do the same basics. And I'm going to give you those tonight. But you're going to work on your list 15 minutes a day, 5 days out of 7 for the first 2 years. Now, you're going to constantly work on list building the entire time you're in network marketing until you get to your presidential goal, and you're not building lists anymore. You built a legacy business for you and your family is your children, and your children's children are doing what you did, what you passed down to them. So how do you build that list? Well, first of all, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to give you some tools. Now, all of these are going to be posted, by the way, up on the Band app as attachments, so you'll be able to download them. So the first thing you're going to get, if I can get my computer working properly again, and display this stuff for me. We want the list building tools. I'm going to give you a kind of like a memory jogger sheet. And these are going to be places, kind of where do you go to things you got around the house, things you have to go and pull up names that you may not just kind of remember out of your head. You go to your address book, your phone, your business cards, your Christmas cards, your neighborhood lists, that you've had. Maybe you've had lived in neighborhoods and they've had lists of who the neighbors were and phone numbers and things like that. You go to your high school yearbooks, your grade school yearbooks, your college yearbooks, and you kind of go through the list of teachers you had, trying to remember. You're wanting to jot names down, and of course you go through all of your family members. Your parents' parents, your cousins, uh, your your brothers, your sisters, your in-laws, your outlaws, all that. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to use this little memory jogger here. And this one piece of paper is going to help you every day when you're working a different section to help give thought for that 15 minutes. No radio, no TV, no outside noise, no music, phone turned off for 15 minutes. This is pure unadulterated concentration time. And when a name comes to your mind, write it down. Do not say, well, I think you're going to try and think of more information. No, write that name down immediately, even if it's just a first name, and then jot a note down of what it relates to, what made you remember that name. First grade, a person that annoyed you in the first grade or third grade, they pull your hair in the back of the, sit behind you and they pull your hair or hit you on the head with a pencil or whatever. You are list building and you're giving concentrated thought at doing that. 15 minutes, 5 days a week for the first 2 years. Okay? And you're going to translate that name into your book. You're going to look up phone numbers, addresses. That will take time. Don't worry about that. At least you got the name in the book and you got how it occurred to you through one of these, the memory jogger kind of techniques here. Okay? Now, we're going to give you what we used in the beginning when we were doing this, and even 7K did, because we all kind of taught the same thing. We're going to give you that little 7K. I've got these still in my PDFs, okay? And I'm going to put them up there again. This is not something I've taught for the first time, but it's been a while since I've taught it, okay? So I'm going to put that form up there for you, and then I'm going to give you those memory joggers, more memory joggers. People went to church with, people you went to church with when you were in 6th grade, when you were in the 7th grade, when you were in high school, when you were in 4-H club, when you were in the beta club, key club, whatever. You'll see all kind of things will bring memories of people up, and your job is to capture their names when it comes into your brain. Do not say, well, I'll remember it and I'll write it down. You're driving along somewhere. A name comes to your mind because it's just kind of you thinking about name coming to your mind. Pull over, stop, write it down real quick. Don't say I'm going to remember it, because you know what? You'll spend 20, 30 minutes, hours trying to remember the name that you thought about and you can't remember it. Okay? But that's just the way it goes in this building. So I'm going to give you this other memory jogger, okay, that we have. And then this is kind of what we call a pre-qualifier checklist. I don't believe in pre-qualifying anyone, but, this gives you data and information in a just kind of a check mark format, okay? And if you got this and you can print these up, print them out, and if you like this kind of methodology, then that's fine. I just want you to use the notebook, okay? This is all kind of other things to kind of help you, okay, in that list building. Then I'm going to give you, here's that big list of that first 100. I want it in the notebook. Okay, if you like putting them in one place, you can look at all names on one place, then go ahead and use this one too. Okay, if not, I want it in the notebook. I'm going to explain why in just a minute, how that systematic approach works. Okay, then I'm going to give you free I don't want, hey, listen, one thing I want to make clear. Do not go and buy lists from anyone. Waste of your time, waste of your money, and it will only frustrate you, and you're wasting money because it does not work. Believe me, I know from experience. And so do not go buying. Don't go online looking for how you can, build lists, buy lists from people, get that. Just forget all that. That's people making money off of your lack of knowledge how to build a list properly. Okay? So if you're ready to contribute funds to just kind of waste it instead of buying you silver and gold, go right ahead. But I don't recommend it. Now, of course, I've used Eric War in a lot of things because Eric War was building his business, but at the same time I built my business making $1 million a year. And Eric War teaches the same thing I teach, except he makes money off selling his stuff. I don't. Okay. But now he's made a lot of his stuff available for free. And so I don't mind, talking about Eric War and his materials. And that's why I talk about him a lot and recommend him. Okay. Because he's not now trying to make a ton of money. Now he'll want you to go to his seminars and pay and all that kind of stuff. But hey, you can listen to my stuff over and over and over again. You're going to get the same or better stuff. Okay. And so this is just a little PDF. I'm going to make it available in the Band app. So don't worry, you're going to have access to it. You're going to be able to print it out. You're going to have it. Well, this is going to be your little Bible for your memory jogger for building your little list. Okay. Now, I'm also going to give you another little 5-6 page tool of Eric War's. And again, it's a PDF, so it's all free. And it really kind of summarizes everything that I'm saying here tonight. So it'd be your thing that you get to review and have other words telling you in writing. Okay. So a lot of people learn a lot better by reading and absorbing than just hearing a video over and over again. But a lot of people hear the video over and over again. That's a better learning technique. So we have both available for all of you. Okay. So you just saw the 5 tools basically I'm going to provide for you, and they're at no cost. They become your list building Bible, your tools. Now, if you notice, and these are the thing I'm going to reemphasize that Eric and every major master in this industry will tell you, that you are constantly building a list for the rest of your life if you want to be a master in network marketing. You're always building lists. And once you run through your list of 500, you'll be building a list because you're going to be meeting people. You're going to be, and sometimes you're going to be meeting people new on purpose. And that's a good thing. You'll want to mix and mingle and learn how to create new warm contact. And you don't want to pounce on them immediately about joining 7K. No, you want to develop that contact first, and then you want to pursue the prospecting proper technique to introduce them to 7K and the opportunity we have, and about owning gold and silver and learning how and earning an extra income. So always follow the rule to never prejudge like I teach. Never prejudge. If you think somebody will or will not want to do 7K, never do that. That's a big no-no. All you want to do is put names down and learn how to pique interest, prospect properly. And we will have a session on peaking interest and prospecting. I introduced that in session number 1, but we have a specific session just on that. So how we can become an expert at that. But right now, the main purpose of this is to get to that list building and how we build that list and what our tool is. Now, the reason you're going to have one name, one phone number, one email address, so you're going to get their complete contact information ultimately on your piece of paper. Now, of course, you'll want to transfer that to your phone and ultimately to your 7K system, 7K Wealth System app as you bring them in one at a time when you're working them. Never transfer all of your members into your 7K Wealth System app all at one time. Never. Because you've lost a systematic approach to working your list. Okay? So I needed to put that in here in the list building just as a caution. And if you've already done that, erase them all. Take them all out. And then bring them back in when you are working them. Okay? So as you are building your list, you got your name, you got your first top 25, top 50. That's the ones that we're going to work with your sponsor or your first upline leader that you're working with, your team leader, or, and then their first successful people, because you're going to have a 1, 2, 3 punch in your 3 ways that you can have to help follow up as you are piquing people's interest, giving them more information through that process. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a date and on the rest of that piece of paper, you're going to, as you're going through them, as you're going through the list, you want to go through that 5 a day. Remember, our objective is 5 a day. Maybe you can only do 5 a week, but whatever it is, you put it down, what you sent them, when you did it, the little 4-minute video that you sent them, when you did a little 3-way follow-up with them, you have that date and who you did it with. You did with Derek French, you did it with Brandy, you did it with Todd, you did it with Bob, who you did it with, okay? And then when they become a member, at the very top, on the very top part, you put a great big star. That means they're a 7K member, and you put their username and their email address because they're a member. And so when you're walking through your list for follow-up, you'll know the stars you don't have to follow up with. I want you to put their rank when they achieve rank. I want you to come back and put their rank right there under that star. So yeah, you're going to have contact even with people in your business, but this gives you a program way to do it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So as you do this, you're going to go through this list of the first 100. You want to go through that list of first 100. And when you're following up, you're coming back to the ones that are not there, and you'll put a date and you send them the 17-minute wealth, the 17-WS, 17-minute wealth strategies video, or you had them at a Zoom presentation on such and such date, or you did another 3-way with, somebody else and such date. Now, this gives you the ability to always work someone new and then do some follow-up, and you'll have a programmed, systematic approach that you don't have to remember any of this stuff. You got your little book, you go through it, and then you go to new ones, you come back, and you do some follow-up, you do some new ones, you do some follow-up. See, you got your 5 people a day that you can be contacting, touching, and doing it properly. Oh, now doesn't it seem a lot easier when you do it in a systematic approach? Now let's see if you got the discipline yourself to get your list together and to start working it. It's just that simple. It is not a very difficult programmed to learn. But I'm going to be very honest with you. Most people don't do it. Why, I don't know. But all the successful people do it. That I'll tell you. And many times it takes some people 2 years or 3 even to realize, oh, I should have been doing it. And then they start. And when they start, that's when they're going to work. All the time before that was just kind of being a member, having a little fun, but being a participant. It really wasn't working at success with a successful system. Okay. Now, I want you to understand that when you have 5 people on your left team and 5 people on your right team, you may not have sponsored 5. But if you got 5 people on your left team and 5 people on your right team doing this, exactly what I just explained tonight, that'd be 5 times 500. That's 2,500 people they'll be touching on your left team and your right team in a year. If 10% of them join, that's 250 new people you have in your left team and 250 new people in your right team. You can calculate your own checks just by membership increases. But if you got 100 people on the left team and 100 people on the right team buying that coin every month, now that makes allowances for those who really didn't make a 2-year commitment. But if you got 100 times 20 points is 2,000 points. That's enough to get a $500 check every week, y'all. You just do it yourself. Just add it up. Just do the numbers. Network marketing is numbers. And that's the truth of it. You've got to do the numbers to succeed. I do the numbers. I've done the numbers. I continue to do the numbers. When I leapfrog, and you know what leapfrogging is? Okay, when I help my people work their top 25 to 50 people. If I sponsor, I'm going to get them to do their list of their top 25, 50 people. Now, if they don't give that to me, I say, okay, you're a customer. You're a customer. You're not ready to really build. You're just a customer and you want to learn. You want to take it on your own time. That's fine. I'm not going to twist anybody's arm. And neither should you. But when they give me their list of 25 to 50 people, I'm going to help sponsor go through that list. I'm going to help them prospect. I'm going to help them pique interest. And so is your team leader. So is your person that you're that has a little bit of success. They don't have to be immensely successful. You just have to work the system the proper way. And that's all it is, because you can't make people see this. Nobody can talk somebody into it. And if you do, you talk them against their will, and it's not going to work anyway. So what we do is we work that 25 people. Now, I'm meeting new people I would have never met in that process. Now, I personally, I'm going to pick the hottest person, the person really willing to put their list together, really go to work, and I'm going to leapfrog. I'm going to work with that person. I'm going to let my sponsor work with the other couple of people because I'm teaching them how to do it, and I'm going to do the same thing on their right side. And I'm going to leapfrog, same thing. I'm going to work. Now, that with you as a team leader, you're the most experienced one. You're going to do it with the same, you're going to replicate this process. And if they've got a list, they have work to do, and they're continuing to build a list, and you're doing 3 ways with them, helping their people, and you're meeting new people, and you're seeing, and I just keep leapfrogging down as far as I can go. And that's how you start a momentum run. That's what I did with Wayne Clark. That's what I did with George Donaldson. That's what I did with Woodrow. That's what I did with Tony and with Danny and Tiffany Clement. That's what I did with Delton and Cindy Kaysen. That's what I did with Richard Witt. That's what I did with everybody I personally sponsored, or my wife personally sponsored. That's what we did. And then when I got Wayne Clark, Believe me, I worked with him. I have devoted full time and attention there because why? He was ready to do not 5 a day, he was ready to do 30 a day. He asked me what I did back in the 90s, and I told him. And he said, I didn't know he was $90,000 in debt. I didn't know he had a real reason to succeed. He had a purpose that he had to succeed or he's going to declare bankruptcy. Well, see, when you're motivated enough, you will do what it takes and you're coachable, teachable, and trainable. Okay. He had skills, attitudes, and techniques, but it wasn't working for him in this other deal. But it worked for him in our deal because we teamed up, went to work. Then we got Greg Zerniak, we got Dwight and Carla and Brooke Stelly. And so they're on one side, Zerniak's on the other side. We all went to work. I leapfrogged with them. We all went to work. We all kept teamed up. We built that. And then, so as they learned, they captured everything, every contest that we had during COVID. Well, I wasn't going to let them use it, COVID as an excuse. And we steamroll this old company right through that. And then, well, okay, when that happened, my friend George, he needs to rank up. And so, Gary Goslin over in Hawaii went to Jim McClellan and they put him in touch with George. George put Gary Goslin in touch with me. Then I started doing Zooms with him. I leapfrogged and we started building. We did the same thing. I went to Hawaii. We put in 308 memberships in 7 days. And we got a momentum roll. We kept going. And then when it come back, then one person we had in business before, Pastor Shane Vaughn, I called him. We went. He gave me Kim Wiley. We went to work, and we did the same thing. We steamrolled, and we kept momentum. That's how you do it. You find the hot people ready to go to work, willing to go to work, and you leapfrog down, and you work with them, and you just keep doing it. And it came here comes, PSI Group and Todd Father, and Derek French, Mike Mandato. And look, I know I'm leaving out names, but it's the same concept. What I want you to do and understand that if you really want to do it big, you got to have a systemized approach. Now, leapfrogging is a whole nother thing. I'm not teaching you that tonight. I'm teaching you the basics for everybody to be able to do the whole system. And that is the list. If everybody doesn't have, you can only work with those that really have a list. Because if you don't have a list, you got to have the skills. I've got to have and leapfrog over and sift through and just find those. Now, you're also going to use your Internet Explorer, your downline explorer, not your Internet Explorer, your downline explorer, and you got your actives, you got your inactives. That's also part of your follow-up. Now, follow-up is a whole new part. I hadn't got to that yet, even though I've taught a lot about it. Tonight's list building. So I want you to understand the importance of list building. If you understand that this is the base for success in network marketing, and until you discipline yourself to actually put it down on paper. Now, if you're a computer whiz and you can do spreadsheets and you work with better with, go, more power to you. But you've got to have the ability to put all this information down for follow. Now, the 7K Wealth System app has that capability. You can put notes in it and everything. But I found even with me, I like doing the paper because you know what? On one piece of paper, I can look down and I can see everything that I've followed up with over the last 2 years or 3 with that person, and they're still in the pipeline. They're always on the follow-up list. And when you got a list of 500 and you're doing 5 a day, you're not bugging people to death. You're going about it in a systematic, programmed way. And it's just kind of like natural staying in touch type stuff. You're not going to have too many people, send a big all caps text back to you. Don't contact me again. You're not going to have that if you do it in a systemized process. And by doing a list and doing it the way I teach, you'll be able to do it. And you're going to have so much more success, so much more satisfaction in doing your business, so many more interactions with your team that you're going to have a very pleasurable, fun time in building a team, a family, and building a legacy income with your 7K business. I hope you see what I see. I hope you understand what I understand. I'm going to try and share my screen one more time to put up, since I did kind of talk a little bit about income somewhere around in here, but I do like to talk about income. I like to talk about our stair-step program. See, by becoming that associate, just your one on your left and one on your right, when you do that, you already know how to do that. And if you're doing a family business back, you already got that cool, because you're going to step into copper real soon, okay? Because you're in control of your check from here on out when you got your family. And everybody ends up with a family business back one way or the other in time, okay? So this is kind of a stair-step program. I don't want you to think, presidential goal. I want you to think executive goal. I want you to think gold. I want you to think silver. No, really what I want you to think is that next step. I want you to get to the next step. What it takes for you to get a next step, it takes you look at what does it take me to help who to get to associate so I can get the copper. Then who can I help to get the copper so I can get the bronze? See, you're looking in that downline explorer. You're looking in your list that you have, because that's all the starred people, okay? But you're also looking at those new prospects. That's when you look at, hey, once you get some of those skills, attitudes, and techniques, you're going to be looking at who's the best person you can get next in your business. So yeah, you'll be doing a little pre-qualifying in your mind. I can't stop that. Nobody can. But the whole key is you don't X anybody out and not put them on that list. That is the point for that. And so I love that stair-step program. And that's exactly what I want everybody to see in that stair-step program as we, relate it to our one-page compensation plan. It's the same thing. It's just one's in a chart form, one's in, a piece of paper which has the same amount of information on it. And since I have talked about money, I've got to kind of put that income disclosure back here up on the screen in this portion before we go into a Q&A somewhere around here. I'll bring it up. I know it should be right here. Yeah, I might have X'd it out, y'all. So you know what I'm going to do? If I X'd it out, I'm going to just go on down and show you the old one, okay? Because it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, okay? And it's just a matter, I want everybody to see the income disclosure. I want everybody to read it, because there's no guarantees, no promises here. And I thank you for your time and attention. I hope you learn the things I'm trying to teach you, because the basics are all that it takes. So, Derek, we're gonna open it up for Q&A. We're gonna leave a little bit of time here for a little bit of separation, because I want the training as a separate video. We'll unhook it. We'll have the Q&A as a separate video. So when a replay, they don't see when a one heart. We got part number 2. We're going to be redoing that, separating into two videos.
Okay. So I'm going to stop this video and we'll come back shortly for the Q&A.